Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Runman Dan and we're back for the second video in this new CCC series where I'm trying to qualify for the longest race of my life. We're at Queen Elizabeth Country Park near Petersfield in Hampshire, and today we're doing a 20-mile long run, a big loop from here all the way around the South Downs and back to here. So we're going to get that done, and on the way we're going to focus on today's topic, and that's going to be focusing on the UTS 55k. Talk about that race, we'll look at the map, look at the elevation changes, all of that. Talk about how I'm going to focus on the race itself, on the day, and how I'm going to approach it really. So we'll talk about that a bit later in the video, but for now I've got to start this run by climbing up the third largest hill in Hampshire, Butser Hill. See it at the top. So we made it up all the way to the top of Butser Hill. Poles certainly do make a difference there. So that was a really big climb, and we're only 1.6 kilometers in. It's rained a lot here, so the ground is very slippy, but we've done the first big climb. Only about 30 kilometers to go. It's going to be a long morning. Catch you in a bit. This is supposed to be a footpath. It's a bloody river. What a start. So, we are only 10k into this run, and it's probably been one of the most chaotic 10k sections of any run I've done. Not only have I climbed two massive hills full of mud, I've fallen over and slipped in the mud on a downhill, I've lost my shoe in the mud, I've had to go up, as you saw, a path that was turned into a river, and I bumped into someone I worked with 15 years ago in a little village in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, the most eventful 10 kilometres I've only run. We're up another climb now. There's a lot of elevation today, about 700 meters, so good practice of course, but honestly this is why I love trail running, because there's always a story. And today I'm only 10k and I've got about 4. It's not going to be a quick time today, but that's fine. I really don't mind. Beautiful countryside though. It's just so wet. We've had so much rain here on the south coast the last couple of days and everything is just soaked. Only 20k to go. No, it's fine. I'm feeling all right at the moment. Don't know how that will feel after the next 10k, but oh, wow, it's so wet. Right. See? Let's get on with this and then we'll talk about the UTS. Hopefully. I was going to say, hopefully when it's a bit drier, but oh dear. Okay, we are now halfway through, over halfway through, about 10.5 miles in, running through the village of Stroud. The last 6k compared to the first 10k has been much better in terms of incident. But I tell you what, it definitely takes out your legs. So we've got about 9.5 miles left now. So what are we training for then? We're training for the UTS 55k to get 2 running stones for UTMB CCC. So the UTS is a 55km ultra in and around Snowdon. Start at Clonbarris, finish in Clonbarris, and I'm really looking forward to it. But what am I to expect? Well, to start with, let's have a look at the map. So you can see from the map that it's a basically 2 giant loops. As I said, starting in Clonbarris and finishing Clonbarris, and it's 2 different routes up Snowdon. So I believe you start the race going up Snowdon on the Clonbarris path, down Snowdon, and then back up it on the Ranger path, I believe, back down it, and then a couple more big hills at the end as well. Let's have a look at the elevation profile. So you can see here that there are 2 big climbs at the start. You don't quite go to the top of Snowdon on the first peak, but I think the second peak you go all the way to the top. And as you can see, 3,300 meters total climbing. Now today I'm going to be doing about 700 meters over 20 miles. The most I've ever done is 1,800 meters over a marathon. So in terms of elevation, it's going to be the most significant I've ever done. But that is why we're training on the hills for the long runs. Difficult where I live because obviously I haven't got the peaks like they have in the in North Wales, but we'll work with what we've got. So my plan is we're going up to Wales early April, and I will recce that first climb as well as the last climb at the end over 2 runs over 2 days, so I know what to expect. But really it's going to be about mastering that climbing with the poles with as little fuss as possible, and then figuring out the downhills as well, and hopefully I can get that done between 11 and 12 hours. Fingers crossed. That would be ideal for me. And honestly, if I can get the fueling right for it, which I have been doing for these long runs, and I can get up those hills, there's no reason why I can't do that time. My plan for the trip is to drive up on Friday. I've rented an Airbnb motorhome by the lake, stay in that overnight, 10-minute walk to the start, and then I can jump straight back in my car afterwards, head home. A long trip back to the south coast, probably staying at a travel lodge somewhere on the way overnight. So that's the plan, but as we know, plans don't always go to plan, so I will have a backup hopefully. Oh, right, we are now coming up to 19 kilometers. We've got about 13 kilometers to go. Oh, I'm tired today, but It's been a tough first half. Hopefully the second half isn't as bad. There's only one big climb rather than two. So let's get this done. Okay, we are at 29.5k and I'm really suffering now. That first half of the run is really starting to take its toll. It doesn't matter how prepared you are. The mud since halfway has been unrunnable in places. So much slipping, so much sliding, and I've got about 2k to go, but I am done, really done. Probably the toughest 20-mile run I've ever done, and that's saying something. But we're almost there now. One more climb, just at the top of this climb, and then it's downhill to the finish. So I will see you there. And there we go, 32 kilometers done, and I am shattered from that. Oh my word, 3 hours 54, but I stopped for longer. 700 meters of climbing. That's it for today. I'm done. I need a rest. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next one, probably in 2 or 3 weeks time. But for now, please do subscribe, please do like for the pain, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.